Hi guys, my name is Drea. I'm the founder of Line One Hair, and we are here again at Domain today with Jessica Felter. And I've been kind of reading your guys' comments and watching some of you guys work online, and I realized that a really big need in the extension market is removing and retaping extensions in a really efficient manner. So that's exactly what we're going to cover today. I feel like that's really the pain point of doing tape extensions, and really the biggest complaint I hear from you guys about wearing tape extensions, retaping them, and the maintenance in the salon. So I'm going to make it super easy for you guys. I actually wear and love tape extensions myself. And when you really have all of the pro tips to do the removal and the retape properly, it's a super simple service in the salon. And it's part of why I love tape extensions, is because you can reuse the hair. It's a lot more budget friendly for clients, and we really have no issues doing it. So we're gonna get started and jump in and show you guys how we do this. Okay, so the tray setup for this is gonna be your best friend. I wish I would have known this earlier because it truly is a game changer. Again, one of the biggest issues with removing tape extensions is making sure that you put them back in the right place. So this really gives you a foolproof way to do your removal. I do it on a clip because you want to make sure that your client comes in with clean hair. That's the number one thing that I always tell clients. So if you're coming in to get your retapes removed and moved up, the hair has to be clean and blown out. So as we go around, we're going to start in the back, and then what we're going to do is start in the back how we normally put them in with the numbers, and that's why these clips are numbered like this. Again, we have the clips because you're going to clip them and then go ahead and remove the tapes and retape them. But for any reason, if you needed to color them, if you needed to do any kind of washing while the extensions were out, you can actually tape the tape extensions, put the clip on the base of the tape, and then put them in a bowl to wash them. And then in that case, in the worst case scenario where you have to do some kind of coloring or washing while they're out of the head, they never lose place because you have the numbered clips. So again, whether you're going to do that or not, it's really important to make sure that you have the numbered clips. So when you're removing, you're really going to take the removal solution and soak the hair and really get all of the sticky tape out. You want to make sure that you are using the correct removal. You will not be removing the gel removal. I've seen people do it before and have a really difficult time getting the tapes out. It's because they're using the wrong removal solution. So the correct one looks super liquidy, and it is the tape removal. And because you're going to be really soaking the hair, you want to make sure that the client has a towel on around their neck so that they're comfortable and so that none of the alcohol drips down their neck. So when I section for the removal, I do it exactly like I applied them. So we're going to go ahead and section out the left front section and clip that off. And then we're going to do the same on the right side. And then we're going to go ahead and start in the back on the bottom just like I applied. It's really important when we're doing the removal to work in a super organized, clean manner, because you want the retape to be really easy when you're putting the extensions back in the client's head. Okay, so for the back, like I applied just, we're gonna go 1, 2, and then we're gonna put these on the clips that say 1, 2 right here. So all of my back clips are numbered 1 through 10, 1 through 15. It really depends on how many you have in the back. And then when I get to the sides, my clips say R1, so that none of the numbers ever get mixed up and everything stays really organized. So we're gonna take the remover, and you're gonna go ahead and just soak the tape at the base. And I'll usually go ahead and do the entire row just so it can start breaking down. And it should be really easy. So when you go in there, you're just gonna gently pull up the corner, and you want to hold both pieces. So what I mean by that is you don't want to pull off the hair without pulling off the tape. You want to make sure that you take the tape extension and the tape with it. I've seen some people do it where they leave the tape in, and it makes things a lot more difficult when you go to remove everything. So the extension and the tape came off. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. And then we're going to saturate a little bit more. You really can't oversaturate. The more removal solution, the better. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull at the ends where I know her length is, right here, so that I'm not pulling on her own hair. Because if I pulled up here, I would just be pulling on her own hair and it wouldn't come out. So we're gonna hold it at the base so that it's comfortable for her, and just gently pull on the ends until it slips out. So this is exactly what you want it to look when you pull it out. And then what I do is go ahead and clip it on the tray like this. So that's number one. And then after I put the hair down in the correct clip, I will take this piece of hair and really saturate it to the point where it's soaking wet almost. I'll take my disposable comb because trying to clean this after is a nightmare and it's a waste of time. You can buy these for really cheap on Amazon. We'll link it for you guys. And then we're going to take the fine tooth and really just get all of this out so that it's super, super clean. So that's really what a perfect removal looks like. We're gonna go ahead and go to the other side. We're gonna remove this piece, go to the next section and remove exactly like I put them in and work our way up the entire head. So when you go to clean your comb in between the sections, you wanna make sure that you're using the rag in a box that we spoke about before. They're one of my favorite things to utilize in the salon. You wanna go ahead and clean your comb on this and not on your salon towels because it will ruin the towels and ruin your washer and dryer. So I always make sure that I utilize these. They're cheap, they're easy, they're just so convenient and helpful to have around all the time. Okay, so we've just finished the back part of Jess's removal. A good tip is to take your comb and make sure that you can comb top to bottom and make sure that there's nothing getting stuck. So if you're taking your comb during the tape removal when you're ready to move to the sides and there's any place where the comb gets stuck, that means that you need to stop and lift it up, find the spot of resistance and really soak it again with more removal solution. If you don't do this, the shampoo is not going to get it out. You really have to go in there and soak and make sure that every little piece of sticky is out or it's a nightmare the rest of the application. As you can see on the tray, it goes around from 1 to 20, so I know exactly where everything is, and this actually took up one whole tray. So I would always say for the sides, if it is taking up the whole tray, go ahead and get another tray to do your sides on because you want to keep everything as organized as possible. If you try to squish them really close together, it makes it really difficult when you're removing and retaping the tape. So again, enough space so that you can get in there and work, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to our next tray to remove the sides. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get started with the retape. We're going to go ahead and take our clip number 1 and start one at a time. So you're going to take one of the pieces. And again, just like when we were removing out of Jessica's head, we're going to soak the extension really well, kind of pointing down. And then we're going to take the rag in a box and just gently push the tape off. And you can see on the corner, it just starts to pull up a little bit. And then you can grab it with your finger and just pull it off like this. So this is a really clean retape. You can see it's really smooth, there's no residue left on, and when you push away, instead of push down, you're keeping all of this hair clean. So you're not getting any sticky residue on the hair, which is also a really big issue I've seen with people. So the top is clean, everything is ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and do this on all of them before we press a retape on so that they have time to dry from the removal. And you can see these are already dry from what we soaked to get them out of the head. The alcohol remover dries really quickly, which is why you do not need to wash them in between removing and retaping. And again, another reason why I make sure that the client comes in with clean, dry hair. So it really saves a lot of time and makes the process a lot quicker for you and for the client. So once you're done removing all of the actual tape from the seamless tape and extensions, you're going to go ahead and take off your gloves. And by this time, everything is dry and they're ready to be retaped. And this step is really important in the process, and I feel like it really gets overlooked to be done correctly. So you're going to go ahead and take your clean tape and extension that you've already removed the tape off of. It's normal to have a slight bit of tack on it. You're never going to get that all the way off. You're going to go ahead and take your retape and make sure that you're putting it the correct way on the extension. It has a slight curve. It's very important that when you're doing this, that you line it up really neat and clean with the tape. So you're not getting too low or too high. You really want to get exactly on the tape where it's meant to be, like so. And then you're going to go ahead, this is my little trick, and take your press-in applicator tool and use this to seal the new tape onto the tape and extension. And there you have it. just like that, you are ready to go with your tapes. You're gonna go ahead and do this on all of the pieces of tape, and then we're going to put them back in your client's head exactly like we removed them. It's going to be really easy for you because you have all of your numbered clips. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video of how to retape extensions. I have been doing extensions for 20 years now. It is such a passion of mine, and I really love tape and extensions, and these are really the key problems that I've seen people have when using them, and really the feedback that I've gotten of why stylists choose not to use tape-ins. So again, the key takeaways from this video would be the proper removal with the numbered clips, making sure that your client comes in prepped correctly with really clean, straight, dry hair. This is gonna make your life so much easier, I promise. And then when you're removing the tape, making sure that you're using the rag in a box and a disposable comb. This is really gonna make your life night and day. When doing this, it really changed it for me. I would spend so much time cleaning my combs, everything would get sticky and messy, the towels would be a disaster. So just really doing those two simple things, it really is cost effective, it's time effective, and it really makes the whole process more enjoyable. And then as well as using the press and plier when you're retaping to make sure that your reapplication stays just as well as your first application for the client. I would also advise that you really charge appropriately for this service to make sure that you are taking the time to do it right. It is a really important service, and just important as the first service to make sure that the hair lasts as well as it should be lasting, and that you're not getting little bits of sticky tape stuck in the client's hair. It's really uncomfortable for the client. It can be time consuming when you're going to put the extensions back in the hair when you're sectioning to get little pieces caught. So again, I would really encourage you to go through with a literal fine-tooth comb on your client before you wash them for the re-app, and make sure that there's nothing sticky left in the head. If there is any resistance in the comb when you guys are going through to double check to make sure they remove properly, I would really encourage you to take the time to go through with the removal solution and just really soak the client's hair and use the fine-tooth comb until it's all done and all complete. And taking the time to do these steps properly are going to just really make your life easier and make it a really enjoyable process for you and your client. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and get a lot from it, and puts you more on your journey toward becoming the extension specialist I know you can be.